The world is unrecognizable, cities have crumbled into vast green wastelands, roads are rivers of moss, and nature has consumed what humanity left behind. It has been years since the rage virus shattered civilization, and now, ScreenRant has written our own plot for the latest movie 28 years later. Our main characters in this story are Jamie, Isla, and their son Spike. The family has lived inside a fortress-like compound on an island off the coast of the northeast of England for some years now, with Spike never knowing a life outside its barricades. As a former bustling town whose access was either by boat or tidal causeway, the virus was easy to remove and keep out. It offers sturdy shelter, food, and a small but strong community. With the infected still roaming the mainland and only the hardiest of survivors left, the compound represents a fragile safe haven, but safety is not the same as living. The community is suffering under the weight of stagnation. Though they have managed to keep livestock, fish, and grow some crops, resources are depleting. The once thriving community has dwindled due to accidents, illness, and the creeping paranoia of isolation. The decision is made. It is time for someone to return to the mainland for a supply run to find medical resources and report back their findings of the state of the world now. It has always been a risk, but it is a necessary one for the community's survival. A blind ballot is cast, and one of the community's most skilled defenders, Jamie, is picked to head up the supply run. His partner, Isla, volunteers to join his supply party, and they make arrangements for Spike to be cared for until they return. However, Spike, eager to understand the stories of the mainland and with a desire to prove himself, has other plans and stows away in the old fishing vessel. As the supply party sets sail for the mainland, Spike is discovered. With only their rationed fuel to get back, there is no choice but to take him with them. As the party lands back on the shores of England, they notice how much it has changed. The landscape is a strange mix of beauty and horror. Trees have grown through buildings to their full maturity. Meadow-like greenery have cut paths through roads, and packs of wild animals roam freely. But the infected remain, drifting like ghosts through the ruins. Unlike before, they are not mindlessly rampaging. It sees that some have learned to conserve energy, standing eerily still until movement stirs them. Others have evolved in more terrifying ways. Even the animals that have reclaimed the land are cautiously absent from many once industrial areas, knowing instinctively not to risk being seen. The group's first encounter with the infected is near an overgrown city center. They watch a lone, gray husk of a figure being swayed by the wind. It has its face to the sky and arms limp at its side. It looks unresponsive to its surroundings, as if it is in the final stages of its own life cycle. So much so that a crow lands on its shoulder, pecking at the exposed flesh. With lightning speed, the infected erupts into action. Its rotted but unnervingly agile body grabs the bird and devours it. Jamie pulls Spike back, and the party manage to hide themselves just as a sudden eruption of movement swells from side streets and alleyways. This one creature's movements caused a chain reaction, and a throng of other infected rush to its location, searching out the cause of the action before slowly settling back into their static-like state. Jamie notices that not all the infected suffer in the same way. Some show grotesque mutations, such as extended limbs from years of starvation, and some have acquired grotesque bony growths. Jamie gets the supply runners to a safe place and doles out the orders. The group is to split into smaller scavenger parties, collecting only the items on their list. Regardless of how successful their foraging is, they are to rendezvous back at the boat by a set day and time. The party agrees and go their separate ways. As the family take on their shopping list, they encounter a mainland survivor, a woman named Ren, who has been alone for years. She warns them that the infected aren't the only danger here. There are people, factions that are organized, zealous, and hunting. Having someone with deep-set knowledge of the area would be a boon for their supply run. Jamie offers Ren a place in the party, and she warily agrees. Later, while scavenging a hospital for meds, Isla spies more infected out on the street. However, they are different from the sleeper-like creatures they first encountered, the infected that have aged. Their bodies have withered but remain functional. While traveling south, the family is ambushed and captured by a group of humans claiming to be the immune. Unlike the scavengers and raiders they expected, these people are organized, well-fed, and dressed in makeshift uniforms. While being escorted to the immune's compound, Ren becomes panicked. She starts struggling to escape, muttering about about them being a sacrifice for this cult. The immune's guards bludgeon her unconscious and continue escorting the family onwards. They are met by the leader, an older man who claims the immune are the only hope for humanity. Unlike most survivors, every single member of the immune has been bitten and did not turn. They believe it is their divine duty to rid the world of non-immune humans to build a new, purified society. Each of the captured are offered a place among the community, but they must go through the ritual first. The ritual is a path each in the community has taken. The chosen must be bitten by an infected to prove their worthiness.
I want to give you a chance. You can be with us.
Those who turn are either imprisoned for future rituals or executed. Any who refuse are sacrificed to the infected. The leader proves this by pointing out a bound and gagged Wren being taken into a building, her screams echoing across the compound. The moment is tense. The family refuse to partake in the ritual, but are encircled by armed guards. Spike, having seen the horrors of the community in action, is frozen in fear. Before the leader can make a command, chaos erupts. Somehow, before her death, Wren was able to release the imprisoned infected. They rush the compound, forcing the immune to retreat. Jamie and Isla seize the chance to escape, dragging a petrified Spike with them. Now fugitives from the immune and still searching for a solution to their dwindling resources, the family press deeper into the ruins. They enter an abandoned research facility, hoping to find medical supplies. Instead, they uncover evidence of horrifying experimentation. Caged infected, grotesquely mutated, are seemingly dormant but still alive. Scientists had been studying the long-term effects of the virus. One of their last logs warns of an emerging strain that creates pack cohesion. Determined to return to their island and warn the others, the family makes their way back to the rendezvous point. They are relieved to see that many of their party have survived and found supplies. But it's here that the immune catch up with them. The leader has determined that Jamie is unworthy and will face the ultimate punishment for his dissonance.
There is no infection, it's just people killing people. He's insane!
He has brought one of the new strains of infected for Jamie's sacrifice. Caged and waiting, the full might of the supply party comes to the family's aid, and a skirmish ensues. Isla and Jamie run to the boat while the rest of the party hold the immune off. But in the chaos, the leader releases the infected. The creature doesn't lunge. It stands calmly, assessing its surroundings. It dodges Jamie's attacks, adapts, and, for a split second, seems almost aware. However, it is distracted by the number of people in front of it and continues to process the scene. The leader attacks Jamie, screaming that they are all doomed if they do not remove the impure. Before he can land the final blow, Spike intervenes, smashing a rock against his head. The leader stumbles back, straight into the path of the infected. The party escapes, leaving behind the screams of the leader. After weeks of travel, the party finally returned to their compound. Nothing feels the same. The world is changing in ways they never imagined. The infected are no longer just mindless threats, they are adaptive. The immune are not the only faction emerging in this new era. Our plot for 28 years later is a story of evolution within nature, humanity, and even the virus itself. What do you think of our story? Do you have a plot idea of your own? Let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching ScreenRant. Be safe out there!